Substack. And I guess I can see chats here. Pretty fun. So I do have a focus that I want to talk about today. And if you're new to me, hey, what's up? My name is Carol Elizabeth. I live just outside. No, I live in Toronto now. For a long time, I lived just outside of Toronto. But I am a woman who is 56 years old. I've lived a ton of life. I am on a mission, honestly, following my soul's purpose and passions, and really helping to bring that out in conversations and just how I live. I'm a former couch potato turned two-time fitness pro, former stay-at-home mom turned multi-passionate, multi-6 and 7-figure business owner in many, many channels. And I also lost it all. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I am now twice divorced. And I left some businesses and took everything to zero. And I am really here to show that living life in joy, regardless of situations and circumstances, really is the gateway and not the destination. And something that came up in some of my learnings and lessons today is this reminder of the concept of radical responsibility and taking radical responsibility for one's life. And I have been in the personal development space for my own personal reasons for over 16 years. I really got into that world at the beginning when I was setting on my path to becoming fit, because I thought the journey of getting fit would make me happy. You see, I had been a stay-at-home mom and I had 3 kids in 3 years. And so all this extraness that I had on my body, I thought it was that was making me not happy. And I thought that becoming fit meant that I would be happy. So then I began my quest to becoming fit. Now, in this journey, I learned so much about myself, but that is really where I started to learn about personal development and growth. When I was slugging it on the step mill to try to win a fitness show, that's when I started hearing Tony Robbins and Eric Thomas. And I started to hear these things about goals and achievements and your mindset. And so I put everything about mindset towards achieving a goal and hitting success. And when I went through my first divorce and went and got a job and then got into the world of network marketing and creating money for myself, I didn't understand any of that, but I knew that I had a desire that was pulling me. And so mindset and growth and facing resistance and obstacles really was a powerful thing. But I also spent so much of my life living in blame. I blamed the fact that I had 3 kids in 3 years for the extra weight that was on my body. I blamed divorce for how I thought about relationships. Later in life, I blamed cancer and instant menopause and these drugs that I had for the body that was unrecognizable to me. I would blame situations in my second marriage. I would blame the government. I would blame, right? If you're watching this or catching the replay, let me know if you've ever blamed a circumstance or a situation or a person or a government or whatever for the way your life is going. And so I have learned, and especially in my cancer journey and beyond, which is now coming in on 7 years, that we do have the ability to control our lives. I have this little receiver here because we are the dial, we are the receiver, and our frequency matters most in the world. And I put that to test. And the reason I wrote my book, Trust Your Magic, and I live in this high frequency is that I have learned that when it comes to life, that I get to control my energy and my frequency regardless of situations and circumstances. And so when we're blaming, when we're playing the victim, we are in this low frequency. And then what happens? Well, life tends to give you the frequency that you are, not what you wish for. So I believe in universe source. I say Gus, God, universe source, a higher power, whatever it is that you believe, the messages are always the same, that what you have to offer the world is waiting for you, and you do not have to be anointed, and there's not a limited supply of money or love or anything, that you get in life the frequency that you are. Now, I will say that as I started to bring these practices into my coaching programs, I've had people leave my coaching programs because when I say that everything in your life is a result of who you've been being, they didn't want to hear that. And I get it because I didn't want to hear it either. I didn't want to hear that my energy and frequency and my beliefs brought about a disease. I didn't want to believe that my energy and frequency brought about loss of money or loss of relationships. And so we all have a role to play. And when I realized that by taking radical responsibility of my life and not looking for anything else to give to me or to be able to take away from me, everything started to really, really change. And that is when my body, in a transformation that, as a former fitness pro and a woman who for almost a decade ran fitness programs, so I know how to get fit, I know how to help others get fit. But for 6 years, I was the furthest thing from fit. And I blamed menopause, I blamed the drugs, I blamed the cancer journey, and I blamed the stress of a second marriage that was crumbling. But I also had to then take radical responsibility and ask myself, okay, Carol, maybe some of this stuff is true, but what are you doing that would actually bring about a healthy, fit, strong body? And the one thing for sure was I would not be talking bad to myself. I would not be energy about my body. I would be looking at how powerful and happy and joyful that I am. And so I started to be her at the beginning. I started to be her before I was her. And she showed up to the gym and she ate the healthy foods. And when I took radical responsibility for myself and my role in my relationship, I got to have a very clear conversation with myself of what was I looking for? What was I lacking that filled? And not what did he do or he do? What role did I play? And what was I willing and wanting to move forward with or without him? The journey became, how do I give myself love? How do I give myself that attention? How do I give myself that unwavering, just absolutely, I got your back. I'm your bestie. I'm here for you. Because we've all heard it. We cannot give to others what we don't already have in ourselves. We cannot pour from an empty cup. We cannot give without being fully in ourselves. And so that's concept of being selfish. I wrote about it in my book, gets such a bad rap because who are we to not be full of self? Who are we if we're not full of ourselves? If we are not selfish, which I added 3 H's because I make up words, and that being selfish means being self is, which I call our inner soul, and then hearing her, being quiet long enough to hear. Have you ever heard your soul say, you should write a book, or you should do this, or leave, or change, or go left instead of right? And then heal her. And that's the journey of inner child and regulating and nervous system. And I'm all for therapy and different levels of what that looks like in terms of your healing. But the number one way to heal yourself is take radical responsibility that you get to control everything in your life moving forward. And then the 3rd H is honor, which is honoring the voices, trusting our soul, letting our soul lead. I find that when I let my soul lead, which is most of the time now, she has the hard conversations. She leads with joy. She's not worried about any of the stuff. She doesn't really care what happens on the Substack live because she's like, this is fun. Let's just do it. You love to chat. Doesn't matter what you're saying. I'm not a scripted girl. Sometimes I guess in some things, obviously when I speak, but I have frameworks and things that I know I want to hit, but I'm not a script girl. I'm a go with the flow girl. I really operate extraordinarily well in live circumstances. So I'm going to start doing some of these lives where you can tell when they are, so you can be on, you can ask questions, because that's when I'm at my best. Live workshops, that kind of thing. So when I work with my clients, it's very intuitive. I always make reports and beautiful images from things because I'm a graphic girl, but I'm an intuitive, which is really what radical responsibility and trusting myself has allowed me to do. And when I realized that if we get in life the frequency that we are, and that my mood matters most, then I can use that control freak inside of me that I love so much and control my energy and control my mood. That when I'm blaming and when I'm in victim, I am in an energy that is giving me stuff that I don't want. And so it is possible, and it is my mission to help every person I come in contact to see that it is not about the body or the bank account or the relationship or the followers or whether somebody watches your Substack or not or that brings you joy. you bring joy. And you bring joy when you honor yourself and you are willing to see that this magical carpet ride of life, that I say, this beautiful part, that the things that you think are your breaking bits are what make you the magical mirror ball, because the mirror ball does not sparkle if there is not, I don't want to end it. The mirror ball does not sparkle if it doesn't have the broken bits. And you're a mirror ball, my friend, and you got broken bits, and I got broken bits, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. But by taking radical responsibility of our life and not looking for anybody else to give us or make it easier, and then say, what can I do? Especially women over 50. I'm 56 years old. We have so much experience and wisdom and so much life to live. And so I just wanted to come on and play with Substack Live and this language of personal radical responsibility and not being in blame and not being in victim was just on my heart to share today. So I thank any of you that hear this. I'd probably throw it into my podcast. This is what I love about Substack, is it's all just putting everything together. And if this lands on you and you've got something that you want to say, let me always be the proof of possibility that you just go, just hit live, just talk, just do things. Because the more you follow those fist bumps from the universe that I say that make you say, woo, but then you want to do it, the more you are trusting yourself and the more you are taking ownership for your life. And life is just there to give you so much more than you could possibly imagine. I always like to say that today is a magical day and you have the power to make it so. And today is absolutely no different, my friend.